Okay, I see Ripple. Welcome back. Welcome. Perfection. Perfect. Sometimes you just need a little reboot. Sometimes just a little kick in the ass. Washed my hair yesterday, put some leave-in conditioner, and then just wrapped it up in a coil on my head. That's why we got what we got here today. Okay. Oh my goodness, Guinevere. Just for you, Paige, Christine, Lady, Therese, welcome back. What are we going to change today? Good morning, Christine. Following you from John. JW, about a week now. Okay, lady. So you came, you watched, and then you came back. What has you coming back? What has you coming back, my love? Así Esmeralda. I love stories. I love it when you guys tell me your journey, your thoughts, your feelings, your changes, your evolutions. Glenn, good morning. You guys really like this top. So do I. I got this from a thrift store, a local thrift store. It's so cute. I love the little styles, all the little details on it. And your thing, right? Subject 100. So look at the language, ladies. Look at the language. This person says body count matters, right? Very chic. Thank you. Therapy for 10 years. Okay, what is it that you're working through? What is your goal? If you were to look back and say therapy worked, what would you be? What's the goal? You're doing therapy so that you can what? What's the end of that sentence? 30 people in your thing, ladies, in your thing. This is the kind of person who says body count matters. 30 people in your thing. That's what's happening inside the heads. Inside the heads of the ones who say body count matters. You have a thing attached to your body. And he's thinking about the 30 dudes with your thing attached to your body, which is, your body's probably a thing too. Your head is probably a thing as well. Your thoughts, your emotions, those are probably all things. Krista, Elliot Jane, good morning. Loving all the changes Mexico's president been making. Yes, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if the U.S. had... He would yell at us too, right? Because you're just a thing. He sounds ran through, doesn't he? Like just ran through right here, stuck behind us. He's not in front of us. He's ran through behind us, thinking more about dudes than we are. Why? I know, Ripple. All right. Canada will too. Remember the what is it, Handmaid's Tale? Where are they escaping to? Right? Underground Railroad. Again. Let's not let it get there, ladies. right? Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Got it, lady. Yeah. Lady, have you been noticing Diane here when you come? Canada prepping for increased immigration. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Second time here. Okay. So look for somebody named Diane, Lady Hawk. You're going to see her in the comment section. You might see her popping up in the box here. She's not busy. She does a lot of energy work, a lot of release work, and she does live streams Thursday to Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And a lot of people have found that between her and I, like between the hard truths that I give you here and the logic and the direction that I give you, and the work that she does with releasing, between the two of us, a lot of people have found quite a bit of growth. Yeah, Ellie Jane giving you her name. So stuff like The Handmaid's Tale, that's pretty scary, right? It's pretty scary. So how do we not end up there? Right? Like, we got to think about that. You got to think ahead. If that's what they want to do, how do we keep that from happening? Just started watching Handmaid's Tale. Break the cycle, right? But how? What do we need to do? What do we need to do? We are mammals. Think about this. We are mammals, right? In the mammal world, you are one of two things, never in between. You are either predator or you are prey in the mammal world. But yeah, Sasha Tofina, right? And know what we deserve. It's not just about saying no and being strong and knowing what we deserve. It's about elevating from prey to predator, because you are either one of two. You are either one of two. You are never in between. You are either prey or predator in this mammal world. Why are we being preyed upon? Because we are not being predators. So ladies, when do you stop being prey? Oh, Guinevere. Come here, baby. Oh yes, no, it does matter to controlling, insecure, stuck in the past guys or girls. But we have preferences, right? We have preferences. Body count matters to people who are not meeting our preferences, and preferences matter. So if somebody doesn't meet our preferences, what do? We block and delete them because they don't meet our preferences, and preferences definitely matter. Likely a right winger. Exactly, Therese. Yeah. When you stop tolerating, Myra. Exactly. When you stop tolerating being preyed upon is when you become the predator. Okay, lady. No, you probably shouldn't speak to him at all. What would be the reason? If you're, is your father still abusive towards you, lady? You can have a different man daily. Are you jealous that you can't say the same thing for yourself? I could have a different woman daily. Are you jealous you can't say the same thing? My mother's still with him? Is your mom abusive at all? I have better values than that. Exactly, ladies. These guys who say body count matters, they don't meet our values. We want a peer-peer relationship. These guys want to control you, parent, child. They want you to be the child that controlled you, right? They value controlling you. They value not taking responsibility for their own thoughts and emotions. I'm going to feel some kind of way if your body count is over a certain number. So in order for me to not feel that way, I try to control your body and your sexuality so I don't feel some kind of way because I don't take accountability for my own feelings. I control other people so I don't feel certain ways, right? No accountability for themselves because accountability is kryptonite to those guys. So they don't meet our values of taking responsibility for our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors because we are mature adults. They are not. So we're not on the same page. They're still in child mode. We value adults who take accountability for themselves. So Lady Hawk, why do you still talk to your mom? Mayor, good morning. I know these yap guys in my comment section, right? Self-respect matters, exactly. I respect myself too much to let some insecure schmo say, don't you do what you want with your body. Don't you do what you want with those guys. Don't you try those body types. Don't you try those kinks. Don't you say yes to those opportunities I'll never get. Don't you dare do that. I'll feel some kind of way, right? Right? These guys have no accountability. It's called sleeping around because I want you to feel bad about having opportunities that I'll never have. It's called promiscuous because I want you to feel bad about having opportunities that I'll never have. I'm so jealous. Right? Self-respect matters, ladies. Instantly block and delete anybody who says, what's your body count? You respect yourself too much to spend a second of your time talking to somebody who is controlling, insecure, stuck in the past, and PP obsessed. I respect myself too much to waste my time talking to those yappers. Why is he triggering, lady? Yeah, a high value man is confidently standing in the present with you, thinking more about you than other dudes. A low value ran through guy is asking, what's your body count? Because he wants to know how many peepees to think about. He wants to know what's your body count because he's pushing you aside to go look past you, to go look at the dudes you used to do that you're not thinking about anymore because he's PP obsessed. That's that low value guy asking what your body count is. Let me shove you aside. I need to look past you with the dudes you used to do because I'm not interested in you. I'm interested in them. How many did you do? Tell me. Tell me how many. I need to know because I want to think about them. I feel weird coming up with the number on my own, so I asked you to tell me how many to think about. What's the number? Right? Boring. Oppressive, PP obsessed bops. No more. No more bops, ladies. No more. Think about every guy you used to date. Think about everyone that asked what your body count was in the beginning and think about how toxic and dysfunctional he was after that. Think about the false accusations he made after that. Everything I say goes both ways. Ladies, a high value man never asks you to tell him how many peepees to think about. A high value man will never ask you what your body count is because he's not insecure about comparison. Just so you know, ladies, don't be fooled by these low value guys trying to convince you they're high value men when they're not. doesn't have the right to know me. Yes, that's called present tense. You use the proper words. He has the right to know me. A high value man does. But the moment I come across some insecure Bob asking what my body count is, I block and delete him because he's not a high value man. Because high value men are standing confidently in the present with you, looking at you, building forward. A low value guy is insecure, stuck in the past, PP obsessed, thinking more about other dudes, and he's thinking about you. Maddie, ask a question. Show me you can think about something different by asking a question. Yeah, lots of gaslighting, ladies. These insecure guys trying to convince you that they controlled you before they met you. Do you actually believe that? Because they're trying to make you believe it. Thank you. They're trying to make you believe it. That's called gaslighting. Yeah, these boss will do anything but take responsibility for their own thoughts and emotions, eh? Boring, oppressive, PP obsessed. What's your body count? Body count matters. Can't change the topic. They can't say anything else. All they can say is body count definitely matters. All they can say is I'm high value. All they can say is oh, 304 and up, because they share the same brain cell, by the way, lock and key, mechanophiliacs. They're very similar, these guys. They're very boring. Like, honestly, it's like you have a coloring book, but it's the same image, page after page after page after page, because they're all so similar, because none of them have original thoughts. Yeah, they're con, right? Here comes Maddie. Not a single original thought here. Eddie? Hi, what did you want to say?
Hello.
Hi, what did you want to say?
Hello. Hey, thanks for bringing me up. I just saw I saw this in my For You. It came across my For You, so I thought it was just an interesting topic, and I know it's a big topic in today's in today's dating world. But I did do a self-examination as to, I've been married for 10 years. I've been with my wife for 10 years, so I've been out of that game for a minute as far as the dating game. But I never really sat back and asked that question to myself, like, why did it matter even back then? I guess 10 years ago, so 2000, yeah, 2014, right? But I looked at a couple of things for myself because I work with a lot of men who has this concern, and one of the things that kept coming up a lot of the times was the looking at a mate value assessment, basically. Um, and I'm saying from an evolutionary standpoint, I think for individuals, both men and women, we did, I guess we sought patterns with traits suggesting fidelity and investment in like a long-term, like parenting, looking for stability. And somehow, in this part, I couldn't figure this out for myself either. It's like why it mattered, but for somehow a lower body count was more of a subconscious thing, and it was like associated with a higher perceived like partner reliability. Um, at least at least for me. But there are these cultural and social norms somehow that that made its way in our psyche, into thinking that someone with that type of behavior, um, when it boils down to trust, would it be difficult to actually pair bond to pair bond with that individual? And so back then we weren't asking what your body count. That wasn't a thing back then, but your ears did perk up, especially if other individuals, mainly other men, knew about this person you're pursuing. It did something internally, whether it was emotional, whether it was psychological. It did something to men internally to know, for other people to know that your person is very,
I want to point something out for a second.
yeah.
I want to point out that for one thing, you don't know because you weren't in that time. Neither of us lived in the jungle in that time. We can make some assumptions about that. So
Okay.
we can assume that that's how it was in that time. We can kind of we can think about it in that way. And frankly, I've written about it in that way myself. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm saying that's a consideration.
Right.
Something we should also consider is that there are different cultures, there are different tribes, there are different ways of approaching sex. There was not one universal way across the entire human species. And when we examine that, we start to see that perhaps it is more social and cultural and taught rather than
Right.
biological, because I'm going to point out two different tribes that have two different ways of approaching sex. One of the tribes, the pregnant woman believes that the more sperm she brings into her body, the more she's feeding her baby. So hubby can do it a couple times a day, but he's not feeding the baby enough. So she's going to go have sex with the other males in the tribe to feed that baby because she's a good mama. So that's one way of approaching sex. Another way of approaching sex is a different tribe where sexuality is not constrained in any way, shape, or form. So as the children become fertile and come into their procreation drive and start to feel those urges and drives and impulses, they are given their own hut to explore their sexuality on their own terms. And these young teens are going willy-nilly with each other, whatever they want to do with whoever they want to do it with. And there's no judgment whatsoever. But the day they decide that they want to commit to one,
Right.
that morning, when everybody wakes up and comes out of their hut, they see the two teens standing side by side holding hands outside the hut door because they've decided to pair up.
Mm. Yeah. No, that makes sense too. Me being so, do you take into account? I know we said cultural and social norms there, right? Do you take into account from let's say, a religious standpoint? Granted, I understand that's all about behavior and that's all about belief system, but
No,
no? Okay.
religious is not about belief. Jesus is about belief. Anything in those books that is not specifically from Jesus is about control and indoctrination into systems of control. So I
Break
do
down,
not
break that down,
accept.
break that down for me when you say control. Are you
Yes.
saying for men or for women or for what are you
Are
saying?
you,
I'm
are
sorry.
you familiar with religion in terms of like Christianity and Jesus at all?
Yes.
Okay, so you know Jesus didn't say body count matters.
No.
Right.
No, he didn't. Right.
Okay, right. So
Right.
so anybody saying body count matters in connecting to religion this is just daddy issue guys writing books trying to control other people. Obviously, because Jesus never said that. And Jesus is the Son of God speaking the word of God. So anybody writing in the Bible, body count matters, is not writing the word of God.
Okay. Yeah, I think yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense there. I guess I was looking at more so as we evolve with our belief systems and setting standards, because our world is forever evolving. We have to become more strict in certain behaviors, and thus the past behaviors, as far as men being very particular about a woman's past, just like they say women are very particular about a man's future, kind of seeing the
Okay,
with
that's red pill talking right there. Men are not asking.
that's what talking.
Red pill. Red pill. Do you know what
What
red
is
pill?
that? No.
Have you heard of Andrew Tate?
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
that guy.
Okay,
That's what we call
okay.
it. So a woman is not, or a man is
Okay.
not asking a woman what her body count is. Guys are, selfish short-term thinkers are, insecure controlling are, confidently standing in the present moving forward. A man is not asking what my body count is because he's not afraid of comparison. He's not standing in the past. He's not thinking more about other dudes. He's thinking about me. He's assessing me to see if I'm going to be a good fit for a long-term relationship for him, because he's wise enough to want to pick the right person. But he's not asking who I did because he doesn't care about other dudes. So a man is not asking what your body count is, and a woman is certainly looking for somebody who has goals and ambitions and work ethic and financial responsibility like her. As you well know, women are entering STEM because now we're not we're not being excluded from universities, lawfully excluded like they used to do because we were smart enough, but they didn't want us to know how smart we were. So now we are in universities. Now we are studying science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Now we are
Okay.
excelling at that because we are smart. We're getting more degrees than males. We're getting higher grades than males. So we definitely have goals and ambitions and work ethic and financial responsibility. We want our match. If this is everything I am, this is everything I deserve. So some guy is saying men are concerned about the past and women are concerned about your income. That's a red pill talking point because men are not asking.
No, I didn't say income. I'm
No.
talking about so as a therapist, what I hear from men as far as them focusing on their future, they focus on their future because they want like a family, if you will. So if they're marrying a woman, oftentimes when that woman, if I'm doing couples, when they're talking about, hey, what drove you to this specific guy, those are the things that's coming up as far as whether it was his dating potential, whether it was the fact that he had this vision that she got behind, whatever it may be. But I'm not sure. So I guess my thing with that, a lot of the times when we talk about, and you mentioned this a little bit, but when we talk about someone's past for men, you're saying, if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying if a man is worried or thinking about a woman's past behaviors that he is insecure
That's a
or that
guy.
he's controlling her.
Well, yeah, because if you're asking who did I do in order to tell me who I am, what you're not doing is simply taking the time to examine who I am. You're not putting your mind in the right place. You're not assessing me. You're thinking more about dudes, and then you're trying to make me the product of other dudes. And that for me is too weird.
So is that not a natural, if just hypothetically, and granted, I know I'm on TikTok, so I got to be careful with words, but if someone, had let's say a suspicious past, I guess you would say, right? And I mean, it doesn't have to be about dating. It could be about anything that would warrant some level of, hey, if I'm going to trust you, because we're talking about long term, you have to look at pattern of behavior. Me being a behavior therapist, we examine behavior for a reason. So when you look at behavior of a person and it's been continuous, I mean,
Present
you
tense,
don't,
observable. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not asking who you did as though that is present tense observable. It's not. I'm here to find out what I'm
mm,
going to find out when I observe your behavior, because you can tell me anything about yourself, including any amount of lies about your past. That is
hmm
not information I can corroborate unless there's a history or record somewhere and I do a background check. So if you say you slept with two people, but it was 20, that's not criminal. So there's no way for me to go corroborate because there's nothing criminal about consensual sex. So it
no,
doesn't matter what
no.
you say,
I
your
think
patterns
yeah.
are. It doesn't matter what you say,
hmm
your patterns are. I may have slept with a ton of people in the past. That's not my current pattern. My actual current pattern is I'm quite sexually lazy at this time. I'm very satisfied with my one husband. I'm not even bisexual anymore. I used to be. I have zero desire to be with women now. I love our little Saturday afternoon routine. I'm not going to swingers clubs anymore to be an exhibitionist and a voyeur. That's just not what I feel like doing anymore. I just like being home and my Sunday afternoon with my husband, and that's it. So what I did is not what I'm still doing. And that's what I'm saying to people.
But that would
It
be
doesn't matter what they say. What matters is
mm,
what they do. And we're here to pick up on their patterns by looking at their observable behaviors.
right. So you're right. It doesn't matter what they say. It does matter what they do, but your past doings definitely impacts and affects your present as well as your future, the likelihood of behavior.
Okay.
That's what behavioral patterns are, right? I mean, oh, I'm sorry. Did I,
Just sounds like purity culture to me.
Let's explore this.
huh?
Uh,
Say that again?
That just sounds like purity culture nonsense to me.
Raheem, have
That
you tried?
your behavior patterns don't, go ahead.
Raheem,
I'm sorry.
I,
Yes.
I want I want to have a conversation with you. I'm going to ask you some questions. They're very
Yes.
short, two questions. I just want very simple, concise, very short answers to this.
Okay.
We're in a relationship right now, right?
Yes. I'm married.
Right. Before this relationship, did you have other relationships?
Yes.
And how many?
4.
4. And what were their names? You can give me a fake name if you like.
Yvette. There was Brianna, Jessica, and then my current wife, Erica.
No. Before Erica.
Oh, 3. Sorry.
So
3
Yvonne,
relationships.
Brianna, Jessica. Okay. Why did you break up with Yvonne?
I was military, so most of them was distance relationships. So when I would PCS, when I would move to another either country or area, it would kind of tease out.
So inconvenient. Right? Inconvenient.
Yeah, the distance, yes, distance relationships were a challenge for some of them.
Friend was inconvenient to continue the relationship.
Yes, I mean, I was broken up with, not so much me breaking up with them, but yeah.
That's why you broke up, though. It was inconvenient. Brianna, what was the reason for the breakup?
Jessica was the first one there. She broke up with me because of I was just deploying a lot, and then Brianna, that was we broke up, living in 2 different countries. Yeah.
So inconvenient.
Mm-hmm.
And Yvonne, inconvenient?
Same. It was pretty much the same.
Okay.
It was always the distance.
Well, then that's you. That's the pattern, because you are the sum of your patterns. Like what your pattern is, who you are. So as I assess you today, based on this history that you told me, you were inconvenient. So I should not consider you for a relationship because your pattern is inconvenience. So you're likely to be inconvenient. So why would I start a relationship with you? Because down the road, you're just going to be inconvenient, because historically it's just been all about inconvenience. So I wouldn't start a relationship with you because what I'll be facing in the future is inconvenience. Is that right?
Right. That was it. Yeah. Some people made that choice. There were other options, definitely. But once they saw what I did for a living, that was a hold on them. So it was, I mean, I accept that. I was definitely in the wrong career, not in the wrong career field. I did 23 years of it. So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I think behavioral patterns, the reason why we study behavior patterns, because that's all we do have to go off of. I get what you're saying as far as we look at the present behavior patterns, and a person could be convenient with that now. But I look at that with anything, alcohol, drugs. If you did drugs in the past and you say, hey, I'm 10 years sober, the risk of you actually returning back to that is an elevated risk. So you have to take that into concern. You can't just say, oh, okay, you're not going to do it anymore, because you can't predict the future like that, right? So here's the thing. I am in agreement with you, because again, I don't believe body count. Asking a person, does body count?
So not only are you inconvenient, you're also still pooping your pants because nothing changes for you. Everything you've done in your past is getting pulled into the present because nothing changes for you, because all of your past patterns, what you used to do, will be represented again, if not in the present, then in the future. So another reason to not have a relationship with you, because when I wrote my list of what I'm looking for in a long-term partner, I did not write pants pooper.
What do you mean by, let me make sure I understand. What do you mean by pants pooper?
Because you're saying that past patterns are important. We need to examine them.
Well, they have to be important. That's how you study. That's how statistics come about.
You used to poop your
That's how we study.
I will certainly anticipate you pooping your pants again. Not interesting to me. Therese, was there something you wanted to say, love?
Yeah. The assumption that our moral compass is between our legs, and most often this is levied at women, particularly in the red pill context. The belief that our morality has anything to do with what's between our legs and what we do with what's between our legs, that is straight up purity culture. And purity culture is about submission and compliance, not just submission and compliance in the current time, but submission and compliance even before we met you. So men who are controlling like that, who are concerned about your past sexual partners, they are interested in controlling you, and they are insecure. Because a person who is worried about that, they wanted to control you even before they met you. Like, do you realize how insane that is? And assuming what was is going to be what is, with no other information except number of sexual partners, is not only inconclusive because first, it's a number you can't verify. And secondly, even if you can verify the number, it doesn't tell you anything about that person's character. It tells you nothing about all those things on the list of qualities of a good person she just showed. It doesn't do anything.
When you say control, Teresa, can you break that down as far as a man knowing your body count is there to control you? Control what exactly? What can he?
A man who cares about your body count wants to control you, because what other reason could you possibly be concerned about how many people I slept with?
What's the control? Because that is an act. So what
your
is the
sexual
act?
behavior? They want to control your sexual behavior. And they're
mean like
obsessed with what you did, who you did it with, how many times, blah, 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 blah. They are obsessed with the past and they are insecure. What other reason, what other practical reason could that information be useful to you? What does it tell you about a person?
Right.
Nothing.
So just being full transparent, when I said I had that, I didn't come out and ask my wife, hey, what's your body count? Nothing like that. But hearing anything of the past and knowing when they talk about, and this is something I guess you could speak to as well, host, in my understanding of pair bonding, the attachment, and
that's not a science-based view.
You actually don't understand.
That view is not science-based. Pair bonding, that's not science-based. No, it's not science-based. That study was about birds.
So
wait, I'm sorry, you're breaking up. You said when it's not science-based, it's what? I'm sorry?
That study was about birds. The idea of like pair bonding, whatever in humans, that is not a science-based opinion. That's bullshit, is what I'm saying. Basically.
So you're saying pair bond doesn't happen. It's not. What are you exactly saying? That it's not real with humans?
We are not one of those animals where pair bonding is even an issue. They're talking about birds in that study. The pair bonding study is talking about birds.
Do you believe that we're mammals?
Yes, Raheem, mammals. Do the human mammal species, this particular mammal species, do we pair bond for life?
Do we pair bond for life?
Yeah.
I would say no.
Well, exactly. So pair bonding is a temporary condition in human nature, correct?
Okay, I'll say correct on that. I guess I was using the terminology that they use to say when you talking about connecting with someone and being authentic with someone, that they call it pair bond.
You're not here. I mean, you said you work in therapy. Surely you're not here presenting an assumption that somebody with a high body count has a lower ability.
No. Again, remember, I said I don't believe in the high body count thing. I was being transparent and saying, hey, I remember thinking that it was a sociological conditioning for us.
So have you changed your minds? Because I remember you.
Well, yeah, no, definitely.
We went into this whole dialogue, and so where are you now?
Well, because I wanted to understand why men, again, as a therapist, I'm understanding like where's this coming from? Why does this matter so much to all of us? Because I'm guilty of it as well. But I thought
patriarchy.
Yeah, patriarchy.
What?
Patriarchy. It comes from patriarchy.
Well, patriarchy exists, just like the matriarchy exists. It exists.
Okay, but we don't have
here.
Patriarchy.
We have a patriarchy. We live in a patriarchal culture, sir.
What?
Do you live in the United States? Do you live in Canada, United States, anywhere? Patriarchy is global.
Wait, so you don't think it's a matriarchy in the United States?
No.
Okay, so amongst my culture, there's definitely matriarchy.
Yeah, I'm black too, and I know what you're talking about, and that is also crap because it's not a matriarchy just because just because women are heading households. Women being heads of households does not make it a matriarchy. You can have female heads of household in a patriarchal system. You can unmute now. I'm sending you the invitation to unmute. Yeah, that's black men bring this shit up all the time. It's so tired. This talking point is so tired.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, I'm ready. I'm ready to move on. I don't think this conversation is going anywhere. Jenna, hello.
Hey guys, how are you?
Amazing. How are you?
I'm good. How was your Thanksgiving?
I'm Canadian, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. My dog's barking. I have the mailman here. Hold on.
I did some online shopping. I did some Black Friday shopping. Got myself some mushroom coffee from Four Sigmatic. Ordered a new batch of some College Genius and chocolate mushroom hot chocolate. So good. Okay.
Do you actually like the mushroom coffee? Real quick, off topic, obviously, because I have like a very high caffeine tolerance, and I heard this was low caffeine.
Depends which one you get. The Think one, that has a little bit more buzz to it.
Okay, nice.
What can I help you with?
So I'm actually interested in your conversation because I disagree that body count doesn't matter.
Okay. And so so you would like to debate this topic. I want to let you know the terms for the debate. So we are sticking to facts and not feelings. So I feel, my opinion, my experience, those are not relevant. We are using honest language, meaning we're not speaking for people we haven't spoken to. So you can't say women want, men want. You can say I, or mean the people that I know. If you're going to make a claim, like science says, statistics say, studies say, you have to be prepared at that moment to give us the name of the peer-reviewed study. The website, we'll find it on the page number and paragraph number where your claim resides.
Okay, cool. So what are you basing your stance on?
3 facts. Would you like to hear them?
Yes, please.
Okay. So fact number 1, if I have defined who I'm looking for in a long-term relationship, and by the way, this is for people looking for a long-term relationship. Obviously, body count doesn't matter when I'm in hookup stage. We're saying body count also doesn't matter when you're seeking a long-term partner. What we're saying is that body count doesn't matter to people who choose logic when picking a long-term partner. So here's the first fact. If I'm looking for all of these characteristics in a partner because I bring this to the table and I deserve what I bring, do I need to observe your behaviors over time to find out if you are all of this? Or do I ask you how many people you slept with in the past?
No, you would definitely have to study them and see if they have all of that.
That's fact number 1. Fact number 2, if you are looking for all of this in a long-term partner, do you ask them how many people they slept with, or do you observe their behaviors over time?
I do both.
Okay, but you can pick one of 2 because we're gonna pick logic here. So which one seems more logical? Are you gonna ask how many people they slept with, or are you gonna observe their behaviors over time?
No, I would observe all their behaviors.
Number 3, if you want to know if they have an STI, do you ask them how many people they slept with, or do you say, I need you to go get testing from the doctor and show me your screening results? What do you?
No, I would ask them to go get tested.
Because those are 3 facts that show you that what is more important is observable factual behaviors instead of asking how many people they slept with in the past to ascertain if this is the person you should be committing to.
Certainly. But why can't you worry about both?
Oh, no, you can worry all you want, but we block and delete people who are so in their heads, they're making up stories and worrying about things that aren't actually happening. Because that's a mental illness and we won't deal with that.
So I definitely agree. But speaking on mental illness, would you say that people who are provocative and engage in excessive sexual interactions with people, would you say that gives you the impression that they're impulsive or careless or any of those things?
Love the words you use. Notice you were using present tense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. We're here to observe your present tense. We're here to observe the behaviors you're showing us. We're not asking you how many people you slept with, as though that tells us who you are. But observing your behaviors will tell us if you're over-sexualized, if you lack patience, if you lack impulse control, if you're still seeking the attention of others, if you're insecure.
Oh, you're speaking of let's give like a random example. So let's say I was provocative in the past and I engaged in a lot of sexual interactions with many people.
In the past?
You're saying that in the past, this does not have any precedence over the present. That's what you're saying.
Well, you told me what you did in the past.
Right.
Complete the story. What are you doing now?
Okay. Yeah. No, I totally agree. I'm more speaking of in the present tense.
So am I.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That's why we're choosing logic. because logic dictates in order for me to understand who you are, I need to observe who you are. Logic dictates in order for me to understand if you have an STI, the testing from the doctor will give me a much better piece of information than asking you how many people you slept with.
Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Just because I engaged in that in the past doesn't mean that I am that now. I agree.
Yes. I'm the prime example of that, by the way.
Me too as well.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, then I don't disagree with you.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's like, sure, you might have done some stuff in the past. And by the way, pleasurable, consensual, anybody comparing that to criminal activity, it should be instantly blocked and deleted if not punched in the nards. Because what the hell? What the hell?
Yeah, no, it like, I know this is not about personal experiences, but I changed for a reason. And I am not the person years ago. It's not even close to it. You know what I mean? So I totally understand. I agree with you. I don't disagree.
Yeah. So I'm here to find out who you are. There's a lot.
Right.
There's a lot that made you who you are. So who are you? That's what I want to know.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree.
Any other questions?
Nope. That would be it. Thank you so much. Hope you have a wonderful weekend.
You too, my love. Great conversation.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Only Master the Insecure Pam. Hello. Adek. Hello. Hi. What did you want to say?
Hello.
What did you want to say?
So I kind of disagree with this statement, and I don't think it's manipulative or a control tactic. Like, don't get me wrong. So I'm at a point in my life here where I'm looking for a wife and stuff here, and we might want to have kids. So if we do have kids, that's going to be the mother of my children, yeah?
Right.
Then if I want the mother of my kids to be somebody with like brilliant morals and brilliant ethics, do you get what I'm saying?
Brilliant models and brilliant.
Morals.
Oh, morals and ethics. Oh,
Yeah.
let me point out what is moral and ethical. Thinking you control other people's bodies is never moral and ethical. Attempting to constrain other people's sexuality is actually morally bankrupt, especially if you want to constrain their sexuality just to appease your ego because you are insecure over comparison.
But listen, yeah, I'll be on. Okay, so fair enough. You can call me insecure. I definitely am, but that's my own paranoia, and that's not my fault.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Should a woman get into a relationship with somebody who is insecure and making false accusations? Should she be in a relationship with somebody who displays those characteristics?
I don't know where false accusations have come from.
False accusations would be like, I bet you still think about the people you used to sleep with. I bet you talked to that people at that event you went to. I bet that guy you're hanging out with has a crush on you, wants to be with you.
I mean, but if say everybody's okay, so I know I get insecure, so
Okay,
I'm
but you're not
assuming
answering
that
my
a lot
question.
of other
I'm
people
gonna
do
ask
as well.
it. I'm gonna ask it again because I think you forgot that I asked a question. So I'm gonna ask the question again.
Okay.
Should a woman be in a relationship with somebody who is insecure and makes false accusations? Should a woman be in a relationship with somebody like that?
Yes.
Why?
Because insecurities are something that are just there. We don't choose to be insecure about certain things.
Hold on. I may have some insecure thoughts, but I don't make false accusations to my husband because if I have an insecure thought, I then ground myself in reality and I go, wait a second, that was my imagination, but that's not actually happening. So I'm not going to go question him as though he's actually doing something wrong. So why should a woman be in a relationship with somebody who has insecure thoughts and then goes to her and says, I have these insecure thoughts. You need to do something about that. Why should she be in a relationship with somebody who's not taking responsibility for his own thoughts?
Because that's for me personally, I'd want a wife who I am able to speak my mind to, and she's gonna help me however
Wait
she
a second.
can.
Why is it that a woman needs to be a therapist to an insecure guy not taking responsibility for his own thoughts? Why should she waste her time? I mean, look at this. She has goals and she has ambitions and she has work ethic, but none of those are being practiced while she's playing therapist to some guy who's insecure, making up stories in his head and giving himself feelings, and then going to her and saying, I had these thoughts and now you have to stop your life and address me and help me. Why should she waste her time when that guy isn't bothering to help himself by going to get therapy for the stories he's making up in his head because he's insecure? Why should a woman be in a relationship with somebody like that?
Because so okay, I've got two things I would like to say to what you just said.
So I just want to point out that the two times where I really brought him to task to answer that question, that each time he immediately went into why she should. Notice how the guy who says body count matters thinks women need to play therapist and help him through his thoughts and emotions distract herself from her goals, her ambitions, what she could create for herself. She has to pause her life to play therapist because he made up a story in his head. And when I say, why should she do that? At no point did he say, maybe she shouldn't. Maybe she should focus on herself. No, immediately his answer goes to, well, this is why she should.
No, okay.
Can I ask him a question?
Yes.
Well, I don't know if he's answered your question yet. The one you've asked 3 times, I still don't think he's answered it. But you said before you're looking for a wife and you want your wife to have certain qualities.
Yeah.
So what sort of qualities or skills are you looking for in the woman that's going to be your wife and the future mother of your kids? What are those traits?
So for me, I can understand and empathize if she's
Just
got
what
a
are the
body
traits?
count.
Just what are the traits? That's what I'm at. Just answer the question I'm asking you, please. What are the traits?
Empathy,
Okay.
definitely. She's got to be smart, street smart, and but hopefully book smart as well. She's feminine.
Okay, so empathy, you said intelligence, feminine. What do you mean by feminine?
So certain things are quote unquote ladylike.
And these things
don't
would
get me
be?
wrong. Sorry?
And these things would be?
I don't really have specifics, just like the quote unquote aura, I guess, if you want to use that word.
Okay, number one, first of all, I don't think you're ready to date anyone because I don't think you're clear on what you really want. Because if you were clear, you'd be able to rattle off exactly what you want in a partner, first thing. And the second thing is, I kind of think I know where you're going with the ladylike thing because it was your original concern.
Okay,
Those
I'll tell you what I mean by
things,
ladylike.
hold on, breathe. All of those qualities. Let's stick with the empathy, intelligence, and let's say kindness. I'm assuming you want the mother of your children to be kind. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So empathy, intelligence, and kindness. You are assuming, based solely on a number, that a woman who's had sex with whatever arbitrary number of people that you believe is too many is not empathetic, is not intelligent, and is not kind. Do you understand how insane that is to assume that based on that one fact?
I believe it's not intelligent. I'll say that.
You don't think it's intelligent to enjoy sex?
No. So I said that
Like, bro,
I understand that if my wife is gonna have a body count, I can understand that. Like, it's fair enough. In today's day and age, it is what it is, man. We can't do anything about it.
Okay,
But-
just before you go on, Irek, This was in every day and age. It's just
Maybe.
that we didn't keep track and nobody talked about it before. But actually, people were more promiscuous mid-century than they are now. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, true. So that's part of why I say it's a lack of intelligence, because the dating pool is so a lot of the so you've got two sides to the dating. Well, traditionally you've got two sides. You've got guys and girls traditionally.
You're still not answering, why is it a lack of intelligence? What is intelligence and sexual activity?
I'm
How are
getting to
those
it.
things related?
Oh, I'm getting to it. So it's lack of intelligence because of the dating pool. So let's say, yeah, you've got 10 guys and 10 girls. Okay, no, that don't. See, I
Can
tried
you
to.
just answer the question I'm asking you without doing a
Okay.
soliloquy? You can
So,
soliloquy after you
okay.
answer the
No, no,
question,
no,
but
no.
answer first, please,
So
because you're kind of rambling.
most
Not
of the
answering.
guys so a lot of these girls are all sleeping with the same few guys.
A
And
lot of
so
these girls. Do you know
Why?
all of these girls?
I
What
know a
girls
few
are
of
we
them.
talking about? Well, also, first of all, I'm concerned with their use of the term girls. I'm assuming you're dating people that are over 18, right? You're talking about women, right? Not girls.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. All right, go ahead.
So a lot of these women are sleeping with the same few guys. Do you get me? And
No, I
so,
don't, because that's assuming. You're assuming something in your head. You're
but that's
making up a story based on what you think some women might be doing or might have done.
but
Do
the
you
body count
understand
is
that that is
evidence of
based,
that.
that is in your head, sir? You're thinking something is happening that is not happening.
But
You're
I know it's
thinking you can
happening.
verify, a moral or ethical trait in someone based on their sexual past, because you're making up a whole story about who that person is based solely on how many people they've had sex with, when you
Okay,
don't
so
actually know.
on this note, can I make a point?
Sure, go ahead, Des.
So my mom, got married, did everything at 18, got pregnant, been with my dad for 37 years. One person, body count of one, very low. But she didn't raise us. She was an alcoholic. She had so many issues. But based on her body count, would you say she was a good mom?
No.
Or an intelligent mom.
So okay, can I say one thing? Okay, so you've got body count, but then
I
you've
would be
got things
thrilled if
like
you
head
said
count as well.
something that
And that's the
resembled
one
an
thing that
answer
bothers
to
me
a
more.
question we asked you. That would be great.
So sorry?
I said it would be great if you said one thing that resembles a response to any question we've asked you.
Yeah,
That
so
would be wonderful.
she said because of her body count, would you say she's a good woman? And I said no. And my reason for that is, yeah, your body count is
Oh, he's done. Okay. I didn't kick him, but I think Chantal, maybe you got bored with him. Yeah, it wasn't going anywhere.
Was he boring? He was so boring.
Yeah, I was trying to get him to see that it's based on a bunch of assumptions, and he sounds like a guy who's a red pill guy, purity culture guy, because by these girls out here today, they're sleeping with all the same guys. He was about to go into it's the 80% are sleeping with the 20% of the guy. That's red pill bullshit.
80% of men sleep with the same two males.
Exactly.
Hello.
It's always funny when they bring up like, oh, I want the mother of my children to have a low body count and teach them morals and values. It's like, my mom has a low body count and she was a shit mom. She didn't raise us. I grew up in foster care, but I am an incredible mother who loves my kids, raises my kids.
Well, that's because of the whole Madonna whore thing, right? Like when men conceptualize the quote mother of their children, the image that they're thinking is the Madonna. And they believe mistakenly that a woman's sexual purity or sexual virtue is connected to them being a good mother. And obviously we know, as evidenced by data and the example you just gave, Des, It is not. It is not at all related to those things. I know plenty of women or people, just generally, who have had very active sex lives and who are also very good parents. So those two things are not in any way related.
I don't forgive my mom. I don't have to, because I look at my kids and I'm like, how the fuck did she treat me that way? How did she not want to be there for everything? I can't forgive that. As a mother myself, I will never forgive her.
I'm so sorry that happened.
It's fine.
Sounds tough. I'm sorry, Sophie. Did I interrupt you, Sophie? I interrupt you, Sophie? Oh, she left. Okay. She left. Adam, you have an echo. So maybe swipe out of the app and swipe back in, or re-request, because your echo is going to be a problem. Yeah, it's just so bizarre to me that people, the mother of my children, and the mother of my children can't be a whore. Like, bro, what? Like, you're not worried about, like, are they patient? Are they kind? Are they actually interested in mothering children? Are they financially responsible? Are they gonna, like, let your kid, swing on the big swing that's too big for her and fall off and break her arm? Like, these are things to me that are, like, indicative of a responsible parent. Not like, oh, that threesome she had in college, that, ixnay, she can't be the mother of my kids. Bro, come on now, get serious.
Dustin, waiting to have my say. What are you waiting to say, Dustin? Go ahead.
Yeah, you're, like, not entitled to anything, and I don't see you in the request box, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You can have it in the chat.
Yeah, you can have your little temper tantrum in the chat if you like. Go ahead.
Reading presents? Hello.
Yeah, he's just announcing his presence. Apparently, he's just like, me, look at me, pay attention to me.
Okay, chill. I know, right? Rhode Island.
I like that. He was like, oh, I answered one question out of the 10 that were asked.
Oh, women in men's fields? What? Hey, oh, that's cute.
Justin understood how TikTok works.
So, Rhode Island. Hi, how are you?
Good morning. Just letting you know that Dustin guy got my friend Go On bananaed on his live, so don't let him up because he's going to start cussing and then your live will get taken down.
Okay. All right.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Everyone, have a great day.
Thanks, Rhode Island.
Na, 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 na. Hi, what did you want to say?
I just want to say good morning. I don't know if you remember me. I talked to y'all.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember you.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say good morning, and I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving.
Okay. Thank you. You too, my love.
Y'all have a great day now.
Okay, you too.
Jedek.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
So someone said STD matters. Same boring talking points. Get tested. Get their tests. They can lie all they want, but you have to ask for their test before you touch them. It's not hard.
Exactly. I was just going to say that, Des. Get out of my head. It's not hard. I was just going to say that.
No, you don't trust people you don't know.
Okay, wait, hold on, Eric. Hold on. Let's unpack this a little bit. Okay, he's saying no trust because we're demanding an STI test. Yet there's no trust that the potential partner could be a good person based solely on their body count. So who's insecure and has trust issues? Because it ain't any of us up here. That sounds like a you thing, Eric.
Ladies, beware of anybody that demands trust before you know them. Stranger danger still exists. It hasn't gone away just because your boobies developed, but they're trying to convince you that you should trust strangers. You know, the trust me bros. Kiss me before you know who I am. Kiss me on a first, second, third, fourth date when you're looking for a long-term relationship. Trust me, bro, I'm everything you're looking for, right? This is why we use the no kissing for 3 months dating rule. Because if we're looking for somebody to trust, they have to first show us that they're trustworthy. So no, we don't trust you. We don't give you trust that you haven't earned.
And Dexter, that's assuming that all of those sexual encounters were in relationships. You don't know the circumstances of that person's past sex life. So you're judging them saying, oh, you can't maintain a relationship. I wasn't trying to. I was trying to have sex. Like, that was not the goal. So it gives you no information about that person's character. If you want to talk about that person's relationship skills, talk about their relationships. Don't just talk about the sex. That's a different conversation. Do you see how they're not the same thing?
Also, I was going to add something I forgot now.
Sexual discipline? What does that even mean?
He wants to spank you for having sex before he came along.
Yeah, that sounds like BDSM. You know, there's lots of communities, if you're interested in that you could go to explore that. That is a very healthy exploration with consent, safe word, you know, read some information, get all the stuff, know how to quickly untie the knot, you know. That's not this conversation.
Why would a man not want a woman with a high body count?
I want to point out that
I have a high body count. I'm an amazing mother. I'm married. I gave my husband 2 babies at once. So I'm not sure why body count and parenting equate.
Yeah, I'm still looking for clarity on that, Des, too. That's confusing to me. Like, what are you talking about, man?
Not it. You were never a consideration. Not it.
No, it says nothing, Will. It says nothing about character and self-value. Just because you've had a lot of sex doesn't mean you don't value yourself.
No, but they want you to feel bad about yourself because it's the projection, right?
Again,
Yes.
my mom has a body count of 1, and she was not a good mother at all. She didn't have any morals. She didn't have any, like, she was an addict, or she is an addict. Like, it doesn't tell you anything about their character.
Latoya, what did you want to say?
Hey, good morning, ladies. How are you all?
Yeah.
So I have a question. Has anybody run into any studies or any language around what to call these individuals that are hyper concerned about body count and sexual purity? Because I'm starting to think this is not just, you know, someone, I believe that there's people that may have just a preference. Okay. But to get to a point where you have to be on someone's live and forcing this on somebody, I'm thinking there has to be some kind of mental, I'm not trying to make them crazy, but there has to be some kind of obsession or something that's going on. And I'm wondering if there's any language,
here in the
because I want to
US
start saying what it really is.
Here in the US, we call them Republicans.
No. No,
I'm serious.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Latoya, there is a technical term. The technical term is BOP. It's BOPism. They are boring, oppressive, and PP obsessed.
I know what you're saying, and I understand it, but I'm being really serious because, like,
for real, Latoya.
no, I get the language. I use it. I'm with you. I am. I'm on the team, but I'm really serious as far as, like, on, like, a scientific level, like, because there is something really wrong where you really think like the rational, it'd be one thing if what they were saying was rational, like the things, like the reasoning is, but it doesn't matter what you say that's rational to what they say. It's like the primary thing that keeps coming up in their head. They have to talk about, they have to be worrying about all of these fantasy things going on and what people did in their past that they don't know about and people can easily lie about anyway.
Not people, specifically the people with PPs, because they're PP obsessed. BOPP obsessed. Bops.
I just call them misogynists, but I think there probably is a few elements of like narcissism in there too. I mean, not to say that all people who care about all narcissists care about body count, but people who care about body count definitely display some narcissistic tendencies.
I agree with that. Yeah, I wholeheartedly wholeheartedly do agree with what you said there. Yeah, it's just it's just it amazes me.
But this is not a new conversation, Latoya. Just the language of it is new. So
Right,
we're
I
using
agree
the
with you.
term
Yeah.
body count, but we've always unfairly judged women's sexual history. And we make moral judgments thinking that we assume that women's moral compass is between our legs when it's not. That's like tale as old as time. But we're due to like red pill dating culture, we're actually asking that people are asking that question on dates and they're using the term body count. When I first heard body count, I'm like, are they talking about like serial unaliving? Because I haven't unalived anyone. Like, I don't know. At least I don't think I've unalived anyone. Like, first of the time, I straight up thought they were talking about a serial unaliver. What is this? But yeah, it's just a new way for insecure men to talk about a thing that they've always been insecure about. So I don't know.
Yeah, no. I totally agree with what you're saying. It's just crazy to me how it's just becoming, like where you would actually go on a date with somebody and they would like just you know what I mean? I agree
Yeah.
that this has always been running in the background, right? This program.
Yep.
But like to actually think you can go out on a date with somebody and be like, oh, well, no, before that, no, before you even know them, but like,
Or
what's
like
your
on the
body count?
date,
Are you crazy?
appetizers. What appetizer would you like? Oh, and by the way, what's your body count? Like,
Right. Yeah, like right together. Like this is a conversation that now is normalized and you can just jump out and say it and think that nobody's going to look at you like you're crazy. I just think it's way more normalized now. Not that it wasn't running in the back. And honestly, maybe not that it's bad that they're just coming out and saying the real thing, right? Why hide it? If you have this program running in the back, you might as well say it.
And no, Elle, it's not normal. That's not normal to tell your kids, quote unquote, don't sleep around. That's purity culture. That's shaming them. You should raise your kids to be sexually responsible.
Right.
But like
Right.
saying don't sleep around, you're just like slut shaming a kid. And I don't think that's quality parenting, slut shaming your own kid. That doesn't sound like a good Des, you're a parent. I don't think that slut shaming your kids is a good parenting strategy. What do you think, Des?
How is that slut shaming your kid? though?
Your thoughts on it, Des?
So here's the thing. I would like my daughter is 9, my oldest, when that conversation comes up, when we start talking about all of I already tell them like your body is yours. Your body is yours. I won't pierce your ears unless you want to. I won't cut your hair unless you want it. Everything that I do, they already know. Everything is theirs. Their body is theirs. If you don't want me to see you naked, fine. If you don't want me to help you in the shower, also fine. I respect my kids, and that's not going to matter. I'm not going to tell my daughter to sleep around, but I will tell her be responsible, get test results, use birth control, be safe, use protection. I'll explain all of the protection that's available. I'm not going to oddly try and control my kids. That's weird.
I would also add only have sex if you want to.
Right.
Like, don't have sex because you think it'll, you know, make someone want to date you. It'll make him like you or whatever. Only have sex because you want to enjoy something pleasurable. And if you don't want to, don't do it. I don't care if it's your husband. I don't care if that's your boyfriend, how long you've been together. If you don't want to have sex, don't have sex. No one gets to tell you, or guilt you or shame you into having sex or not having sex. Yeah.
For sure. And also, like, I started teaching my son early about consent, and we talk about it often.
Awesome.
We talk about it early. Like, your sister said, don't touch me. You do not get to touch her, right? It's whatever they're wrestling or doing, whatever. Yeah.
See, that's real parenting. That's doing the work.
Yeah.
See, you're actually going into details and explaining to your children about self-respect, how they feel, self-esteem. That to me is actually a better conversation than trying to shame your kids into a behavior pattern. And oh, by the way, I wonder if these people who are telling the chat about, well, I don't want my kids to sleep around. Are you telling that to your sons? Because statistically, if we look around here, what it looks like is everybody is telling daughters what to do with their genitals, but their sons get high fives and can do whatever they want.
That's what irritates me also, is all of these conversations are like, are you going to tell your daughter what to do? Yeah, it goes equally for my son too. Consent.
Right.
Your body is yours.
Tree chimed in with, I think, an accusation that me or something he didn't like about what I said. What was that, sir?
Yeah, how is it slut shaming your kid if you just don't want them to sleep with a lot of people and to respect
Why would I
themselves?
care?
We literally just explained
Why would
it.
I care?
Literally just explained it.
So Tree,
Mm-hmm.
why is it that you are thinking about your child's sexuality and how you are going to control your child's sexuality instead of you saying yourself as a responsible parent, I'm going to teach them how to practice safe sex so that when they are sexual,
Of course I would do that.
they are taking the proper methods and safety guards to ensure they don't have an unwanted pregnancy or an STI. So why do you think
Of course I would teach them that. That's not what the topic is about.
So why are you thinking about the number of people instead of focusing on the
Because
safety of
they
the
brought it up and then it made me think about it. So I'm giving my reply to what they said.
No one brought it up. I mean, someone in the
Because
chat
I
did.
said it was slut shaming to like shame your kid, and then you went into that's not effective parenting, blah blah blah, and his reaction was the fact that I said that is slut shaming your kid, which it is.
None of what I said.
That's not what she said, but that's what I said. I think he was reacting to what I said. That telling your kids like, oh, don't sleep around, don't be a slut, don't be whatever. Yeah, that's slut shaming.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that. I don't think that's slut shaming. I think that's just wanting what's best for your kid.
You are literally associating shame with your child's potential sexual activity. You're saying this is bad.
I think
don't
it's just
do
you're
it.
looking out for them, because for me, I'm still a virgin, and if I slept with 100 people, I think that I'm not valid.
You're making all of that up. All of
Tree,
that's
that's your problem.
That's a you problem.
I think that's
My kids will know that no matter their count, they are still valuable. My son will know he does not decrease a woman's value just by having fun with them. My daughter will know her value isn't tied to some guy. It's not tied to a man. My kids will know their values because I am teaching them early. I am teaching them often.
My value is intrinsic. My value is intrinsic, and it's not attached to interactions with other people. Sophie, welcome back.
I want so bad to be like, for them to feel relevant. Like, I added to your body count and I'm with you forever type thing.
I feel like he was kind of getting confused about like parents basically saying don't sleep around, because I feel like a lot of parents, at least like old school parents, I feel like everything that you women said about raising your kids and letting them know that consent is a thing is amazing. And I think that's like the new generation of, you know, parenting. But there is still like a lot of parents who say, don't sleep around, like, you know, you're going to get pregnant. And I still think it's valid, but I don't think those parents are necessarily explaining to their kids, like, be careful because of these things. So I kind of get like where his confusion was maybe, but at the same time, I do think
I think the assumption, Sophie, is that
Yeah.
if we're not shaming our kids, we're encouraging our kids.
For sure.
Like they're like, if we're up here saying, you know, your sexual past doesn't decrease your value, their assumption is like, oh, well, then you're just telling your kids to do whatever they want whenever they want, and you're not like bro, no,
Yeah.
that's not what's happening.
I feel like so
Just
many
like they-
parents who tell like
Like they make up in their head when we say body count doesn't matter, we're just sleeping with everyone.
Yeah.
I've rejected
Trying to
so
justify
many
our
people.
own promiscuity or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even understand. Like, I feel like it's very much on social media where there's so many guys, especially younger men, who are like body count matters. All these things matter about women, but it's in person. You don't hear them talking about those things with women because they can't even interact with them. Like it's only on the media, like on social media that I see that. And I just think it's really funny. And like, even that guy on here who was saying that he was insecure, I don't think he probably has many conversations with females like on a day-to-day like interaction. And then like, how do you even ask a woman about their body count? Like my partner and we've been together for 4 years, and I don't think the conversation came up until a bit later on. And it wasn't even a place from judgment. It was just like, we're just getting to know each other. And I got to know him before, like I knew that information. And I just think it's kind of funny that some people say it matters so much, but they won't even ask those questions immediately. And if a guy asked me about my body count on the first or second day, I'd be like, why do you care? You don't know me. And I would be grossed out, and I would say, I'm not talking to this guy again. That's kind of my stance, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I instruct women to do, because listen, the ones that are coming at you with that are making it so clear that there's only dysfunction that's coming afterwards, no matter what you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A harbinger of other misogynistic views that they likely have as well. If they're concerned about your sexual past, big red flag.
Or poor mental health.
Yes, and or the yes and.
I'm looking at me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you're right, no good can come of it. Like any questions you get after the what's your body count, just get up and leave. Just like put the cash for your drink and just go.
The Jessica.
Someone in the chat had a concern. They tried to link body count with divorce rates.
Oh yeah, that one. Yes.
We've debunked that study, Latoya. Yeah, it's like it's the study actually doesn't even say that. It doesn't say that there's a link between and it just said premarital sex. It didn't say the actual number. There's no causal relationship between premarital sex and divorce rates.
I mean, I know that. I was just wondering. Okay, so so you all had talked about that before.
Yeah,
Maybe that was just something that I
every
missed.
day. Some person brings that up like every day. It's the same dumb study.
Okay, so
We've debunked the study like 8,000 times, but they keep bringing it up.
like, is it just one study that they hinge this thought upon?
There's 2 or 3, but they're all
Okay, so there's about
Yeah, but they all they don't say what they purport to say. Like they're saying the study is saying something the study's not saying.
Okay,
So
all
yeah,
right.
it's the
Interesting.
same handle of studies. Yeah.
So you're a scientist? Oh no, it's really easy, Jill. Whenever they say studies say, science says, statistics say, we go, okay, give us the name of the peer-reviewed study, the website it's on, the page number and paragraph number where that claim resides. And what we find is not a single one could bring us that, because every single one is lying.
The study we're debunking, it's the conclusion that you are saying that study has that we're debunking. You apparently did not read and not understand the study because it is not saying what you claim it is saying.
And it also, most of the time, says at the end where no one ever gets to, more studies need to be done. This isn't 100% accurate.
Trying to figure out more effective ways to test these things. And based on when they do like meta-analysis of a bunch of different studies, they're like, here's where this study was lacking, here's where this study was lacking, and there's really no way to control for this variable, for that variable. So you know what? We can't establish a causal relationship between these two things. The end.
The funniest thing is all of these guys who say, oh, but science says and studies say, they're not reading what they're telling us we should be reading to back up what they're saying is the truth. They haven't read it. And it's hilarious to watch them stumble and fumble when we say, go show us exactly where that information is. Name of the study, website it's on, page number, paragraph number. Show me exactly where to go find your claim. And they're like, Google. Because it's not there. They don't even know it. They haven't read anything. Anyways, I'm going to go.
I ask, like, why does it matter that the people that your partner may have slept with are people that, you know, you might know or run into? Why does that make suddenly body count doesn't matter unless I know them? Like, that's weird. That doesn't make any kind of sense to me. Just because you might see him at Starbucks or whatever, what does that have to do with anything? Which means that you really do think that body count matters. So if you say, oh, body count doesn't matter unless I know them, like someone said that in the comments, then you think body count matters. Because when you are confronted with an actual person that you think or suspect or know your partner may have slept with in the past, suddenly it matters because that person is right in front of you. So either it matters or it doesn't. So I think you still got some stuff to unpack there, sir.
He does. So I get my husband has a past, and I found out that he ended up sleeping with my ex-husband's sister, so my daughter's aunt. And it doesn't bother me. Like, she was just here the other day picking up my kids, and they're talking, and it didn't faze me, and it didn't bother me. It was a thing that happened. It doesn't matter. They're not seeing each other now. They don't care about each other now.
That confuses me so much. Well, maybe just because I'm non-monogamous, I just don't care. I've never cared, even when I dated, you know, in a traditional heteronormative way. I just never gave a shit about like who people slept with. It's just something I never cared about. And literally, like I'm in a non-monogamous relationship, and literally the other people involved are like close friends of mine, people I've known for 15 years, and I literally never think about it. It never enters my mind to be weird about it. Like, I just don't get that at all. But it's just me.
Taboo. We're not saying you have to follow this. We're not saying you have to change your standards. We just won't. We won't want you around. We aren't forcing you to be here. No one's forcing you to be here. Have your standards. We don't care. I say it every day. We don't care. Go have your standards elsewhere.
Yeah, Nino, we respect ourselves, but it sounds like you don't respect yourself, because if you're saying that any encounter that we have with a man decreases our value, that means you don't respect yourself or any other man. So again, something you might want to unpack in therapy, perhaps. Oh, I'm sorry, Jessica. Jessica, have you spoken yet?
No,
Jessica?
I haven't.
Go ahead. Sorry.
You guys to finish up. It's
Go
okay,
ahead.
no problem. I love you and Chantel, by the way. You guys are fabulous.
Thank you.
I just find it funny that they don't even hear themselves, and by they I mostly mean men, because it's men who are having this conversation and setting this standard. It's like, am I supposed to just adjust my past based off of any man that I'm going to potentially date? So if one guy says 3 partners, 3 bodies, as they like to say, is too many, and another guy says, well, 5 is too many, what am I supposed to do with that? They don't. It's like absolutely ridiculous.
It is. I mean, it's just a mechanism for control. And yeah, it's stupid. Like how would you even comply, even if you wanted to comply? Like how could you possibly? Because I knew promiscuity wasn't real when I realized that everyone has a different definition for it. Because some guys will get up here and say more than 100, that's gross. But then there's some guy in the comments that said more than 20, that's gross. No, like if everybody has a different definition as to what this is, there's no common understanding of what promiscuity means. It's not real.
Right.
We made it.
I agree. I totally agree. And I obviously, like, I see people in the chat, like, just lie, just don't date them. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to date them. I'm definitely not setting the way I conduct my life based off of what a man wants from me. But it's like, do they have like some sort of chart, like X amount of partners within the span of X amount of years? Oh, were you having sexual relations with a serious partner? Were you in a serious relationship? How many one night stands have you had? Like they don't realize how ridiculous they sound.
Also, the fact that we're calling them
them
bodies is problematic to me.
Yeah.
Like bodies, like I don't even like the term. Listen to what that sound like. How many like were these individuals like are they people? Like are you serious? Like even to bring it down to that level to me is problematic personally. Like how many bodies do you have? What?
I agree. Sorry, Des, were you going to say something?
Yeah. No one can confirm. No one can solidly confirm your number. There's no way. I literally only have proof of 2 before my husband's, kids.
Well, I guess I'm still a virgin. I got no proof.
If it didn't, no, exactly. Pics or it didn't happen.
Never felt the same.
But yeah, Latoya, the whole thing about the problematic nature of the word bodies, it's like not only are they objectifying you with the accusation of promiscuity, but they're also objectifying all those other people as well by reducing them to a body.
Dehumanizing. They are
dehumanizing everybody. Yep.
I wonder if it's because now, ironically, like now they own you, but at the same time, they're still judging you based off of who, quote unquote, owned you in the past.
Yeah. There's like an ownership kind of
good point. I like
relationship. Yeah, that they have an ownership mentality.
That's really good. Like I guess I never. Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. Like for you to think that, it makes it ickier. You know what I mean? Like everybody else is a body, and now you're like, really? Ugh, too toxic.
Because a lot of guys see women in terms of their relationship to a man. Like you belong to your father, then you belong to your boyfriend, then you belong to your husband. It's like, you know how when you're walking on the street and you get catcalled, right? When you're alone or with a female friend, they'll be so bold and they'll say all kinds of disgusting things. When you walk by with a guy, even if it's like a man you're not even dating or romantically involved with, it could be your brother, it could be, doesn't matter. They shut up, most of them, because they don't respect you. They respect the perceived ownership and authority the guy you're walking with has over you. And that pisses me off so much, because I would like walk by this one block where I used to live, and these handful of guys would like catcall me all the time. But then I started dating a guy, and it was actually my current partner. And when I walked there with him, silence. It's like, so I'm a person now, but I wasn't. And then I realized, no, you're not a person. They're just afraid of the 6 foot tall bald guy with the beard because he's very physically intimidating, and they're afraid of him, and they're respecting his ownership of you. They're not actually respecting you.
It's good. Yeah. This whole concept of ownership, and that really puts it into a very clear light as to why certain actions and certain things are said and the way that they're phrased. And you're right. It has nothing to do with you as the person. It's viewing how a man feels. They rate and judge themselves according to themselves, not the good ones, by the way. But I get where, yeah, if you're on this ownership thing, then yeah, it totally matters how many other men you've been with and all of that, and that ties into the being PP obsessed, like all of that stuff. And I think if we start framing it around, guys, this sounds like ownership. Like, you really need to deconstruct your own psyche if you're saying these things. It's not just like, I think it's getting pushed off as, oh, well, it's just what I think. But no, there's a reason why you think what you think. And we all owe it to ourselves. If we have these strong stances on things, why are you thinking this way? You know what I mean?
Okay, someone talked about loyalty. I'm so loyal to my husband. I don't watch porn. I don't look at other men with lust or other women with lust because I'm bi. I don't care about anyone else surrounding me. Like, if they're attractive, it's whatever. I don't want anyone else. I literally just want my husband.
That guy who talked about loyalty, if you were in a relationship with him, no matter how low the number was, if you asked what your body count was, it wouldn't be low enough. And he would still make false accusations about your loyalty because he's in his imagination, not grounded in reality, making false accusations.
That still sounds like control to me. He's using loyalty, but what it actually is it still a way to control somebody?
I think it's self-esteem too, because it's like, oh, well, if a lot of guys think, and they never voice this, but you can tell by kind of the way they behave and the things they say, they're like, oh, well, if she's had sex with a lot of people, that means she'll have sex with anybody. And if she wants to have sex with me, that means I'm not very valuable. Because if she'll have sex with anybody and she's having sex with me, what does that say about me? Like, it's just this weird thing of they have really, really low self-esteem, and that manifests through with like the insecurity of the past sexual partners comparing themselves to the previous the previous people.
That's a good point too. I like that point. Yeah, you're right. You're right. If it's almost saying, okay, well, if you haven't had a lower body count, so what you're saying, if you had a lower body count, that would make, if you slept with me now, then that means that I must have a high value, instead of finding value in yourself or doing things to improve your own self-esteem, and you're still externalizing it and putting it on somebody else. Exclusivity on your part. Okay, that's
Like
good. I like that.
like
Very
in
good.
marketing, they have that thing, the snob effect, where like all the things that rich people do and buy to signal their wealth, they're all exclusive things. But once more people get access to it, they're no longer exclusive. So the value of it drops. It's like that, like, oh, if she's only had sex with 2 people, or if she's had sex with no one, I'm in the exclusive club of like just a handful of people that's got in there. So that makes me special, blah, blah. Like,
Very good. See,
bro,
these
get
are the
over
points I
yourself.
like to hear come out. This is really good. Thank you.
I also, on the topic of control, I want you to think about what they're attempting to control in the present tense. So the guys who asked, what's your body count? We've already assessed that they are had to control you in the past to accept you in the present. But somebody who's controlling doesn't stop being controlling. But what are they actually trying to control? Not what you wear, but your emotional output, your mental health, how you think and feel. It's not just your physical body they are trying to control. It's everything about you, including your emotions. Got to get rid of them.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's deeper than, which was my first concern when I first came on. Like, I knew like there's more to this than, it's deeper than just body count. Like, all of these points are really bringing out more of what the issue is with around this thinking for men and women as well. Men, like, if any are in the chat, like, listen to how listen to how this is being framed and what this might be saying about you and your thought patterns, that you care about all of this stuff and what it's doing to everyone else. It's just like pushing too much on other people, your own issues.
Yeah. Think about these trad wife relationships, the religion pipeline of the young lady who has no bodies marrying this person. Is she going to have a happy, healthy life? Most likely not, because most likely he is going to cheat on her, because when they go on missions, it's S trafficking that they're doing. Most likely she's going to be abused. He's very likely going to pick up something like alcoholism, because sexual repression leads to poor mental health. Plus that cognitive dissonance of, I send you to Africa for you to go have sex with the girls over there because they don't know any better. And when you come back, you can still say you're a virgin because they're not going to know any better over here. So shush, shush, shush. It's our little secret that you do that. But we welcome you doing that because this is a patriarchal religion. And so, of course, the boys get away with anything, but the ladies must be controlled. And so she has a low to no body count, suffering in a relationship where she's being abused by somebody who may be cheating on her. So how does a low body count lead to a better relationship? It doesn't.
STI test.
The fact that we have to
It's
explain this
so
again,
simple. It's so simple.
again, every day. We have to
Look
explain to
at
grown people.
SWs. What about SWs? Remove. What about them? Like, look at SWs. I don't know what you mean.
Look at the woman who got 5 STIs from the guy that was cheating on her.
Yeah, maybe look at that person.
And I hope people understand that SWs also have relationships that work just fine.
They're all the ones I know, like former, they're all married. They're all like soccer moms. They're all like married in the suburbs. Like, I don't know. Clearly these people don't know any
Like,
SWs.
100%. They need to get off of that. That is just a poor and dumb talking point. Like,
Yeah.
you do realize that these people still have functioning relationships, right?
One of them I know is a rabbi. She's like a freaking religious, she's a clergy person and married and has 2 kids. Like, what? Oh my gosh. Oh, it's
Body
so
count
silly.
does matter, ladies. Rack up those bodies, get that experience. It matters.
Just gonna
Yeah, it's
say
a
that. I
race.
was like, the
How many
reason
can we
why
get?
is because the experience you get. I get why somebody could go through, being and then end up, being a rabbi. So I really do understand that, because in going through learning people and experience, if you're doing, and especially if you're doing it in a way that's more introspective and has nothing to do with just all this other stuff people are making up. That's a lot of knowledge. It just is, whether we like it or not. And I could see easily how that would change you and get you to a point where, hey, maybe if she wants to be a rabbi, I can totally get why that actually makes sense.
I mean, who's the first person when you need like a skill update in your friend group? Who's the first person you go to when you have a sex question? Like the person that's had the very active sex life. You're like, hey, let me hit up
Exactly.
so-and-so because he or she will have some good information for me. And that there's that famous book. It's like S tips for women from a gay man. Like that, the best resources are the people with the experience, people that have a lot of a varied type of experience.
I want to take a second. Skate says it matters to your health. Yes, having sex releases endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, phenylethylamine, which is an aphrodisiac, amphetamine, an antidepressant.
There's something else to tell. I love it.
It's good for your health, ladies. Go rack up those bodies and be healthy. Health matters. Health matters, ladies. Go have those bodies because health matters.
So
What I think is funny about the health point.
Hang on, Latoya. Des, go ahead,
sorry.
and then Latoya.
So when me and my husband started dating, I was gonna do the fans page. I was dancing. He didn't care. He was like, all right, well, you can make a lot of money and we can go on trips and we can have fun. Like, there are secure guys that exist that don't care if you do SW. Like, I don't do it now. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, but still.
Latoya, what were you gonna say?
Sorry about that. I'm having to flip back and forth to turn on the mic. I can't see. When the health point gets brought up, I can only speak from my experience and people that I know. The way that people bring up the health point, you would think like every person that they're sleeping with, they're getting all of these health checks and doing all this stuff. And I just know, like, well, I'll have to stay within my own experience. Everybody that's doing this health thing, I want to know, honestly, are you all really going around doing this much checking and finding out what's going on or not? Because it just
The
seems like, I mean,
most
that's an easy thing to bring up.
repressed people are almost always the most sexually irresponsible. They're the people that don't get tested, that don't use condoms, that don't
And
have
that's
any idea
what
how
has
their
been
bodies
proven in
work.
my life too.
Yes, that
Yeah.
are afraid to have a conversation about it. And you're talking to them and they're like, well, like, well, did you ask them? And they're like, you just have to talk to them, like have a conversation about this, and then you'll know what's happening. But yeah, they're always the most like irresponsible people, the people who shame you the most, who are the most repressed, always.
Yeah,
Always.
the only reason why I bring that up is I get tested regularly, and through my health provider, you can pull up on the app, your health,
My chart.
Yeah. Okay. So my chart. Yeah. That's what I have. And I remember talking to this guy that was talking these points. I like to get in conversation sometimes. And I was like, you pull up your my chart. Like, let's see it. Like, let's see if I'm the one that's being irresponsible. Now, that my chart never showed up because I know for a fact this person is not that responsible.
No.
He had no proof. I'm like, okay, so you're telling me this, but I can pull up my proof right here, right now. Give me 3 seconds. I can log in and show you. And of course, this person had all the smoke for why body count matters and all of this. And I'm like, exactly.
Yeah, just throw it in with your annual schmear. Like, just throw it in. Like, that's just what I do. Like, would you like an STI test? Yeah. Well, which ones? Just throw them on there.
Yeah, I still get tested regularly. No, it doesn't.
See? End of him.
Can I ask a question? And Therese, I'm really going to need to lean into you because you're way more articulate.
I'll try.
You're so good. So I still can't get over the fact that that counselor, that behavioralist, says that we're living in a matriarchy. Like, I can't get over that.
Listen, just because doesn't mean it's true. I don't believe he was actually a therapist.
No, God, I feel for his clients. But so I would love for you, if you can do this, explain to the crowd what it would feel like if we were living in a matriarchy, because it would benefit all this angst we're seeing would go away on men's half, because patriarchy harms women, but also harms men.
Yes.
Can you
And
articulate
children.
what living in a matriarchy would feel like?
Well, first, let me preface by saying that opinion, it's worth mentioning that person who came up here was also Black, because in the Black community, a lot of people assume that the Black community is a matriarchy just because we have more female-led households. And just because, like I said when he was up here, just because you have a female-led household, as we define a household under our current capitalist tax code, does not mean we live in a matriarchy. Now, most people assume that matriarchy is the opposite of patriarchy. It is not. It's a little more nuanced than that. What a matriarchy is it's really like an egalitarian system. So it's women and men. There's no hierarchy. leadership is shared, but the community is actually, it's not women focused, it's not men focused, it's child focused. It's focused on the community. No one's emotional or physical needs are prioritized over another's simply because of their gender, excuse me, or status. Oftentimes, matriarchies vary just as much as any other societies do. There are some matriarchies that have matrilineal inheritance, which that's the only kind that makes sense as far as I'm concerned. Like, you're the one pushing out the baby. Like, the idea that the baby gets his last name has always been weird to me, but whatever. But generally, that's a feature of matriarchal lineage.
So I'm sorry
go
to
ahead, Dustin.
interrupt. I am Tlingit. It's an Alaska Native.
Oh, indigenous?
Yeah, tribe. And we are matriarchal. You are who your mother is.
Yeah. Matrilineal inheritance and clan membership is based on your mom. Yeah.
So my kids, while their dads are, mixed with Native and white, my kids are under my clan and they're considered just Native. To the point where, like, my great grandfathers, when they met my great grandmothers in boarding schools, gave up their culture to join ours and be a part of us. We traded more men to avoid incest than we did women, and if we did trade a woman, it was like an honor thing.
Gotcha. It's just like, for me, and when they study matriarchies and they look at all the common denominators between them, basically the current definition in the scholarship, people that study this, is a mother-centered, gender egalitarian society. Like, that's the basic tenet of it. So it would feel, Kay, more like Dez's indigenous culture clans. That's kind of more what it would resemble. And there were many indigenous like tribes that had societies like that, but they had to shift because when white settlers came in, they wouldn't speak to female leaders. So they had to elevate men to leadership because the Spanish dude wouldn't talk to the woman who was in charge of the clan. So the changes in that in those societies, sadly, are like the casualties of history. But that's what it would look like. Okay, it would look more like that, a mother-centered, gender egalitarian society.
Yeah, and in the end, it does benefit the kids. It does, like, everyone's helping the mother raise this child, and everyone's, it benefits the kids more than what happens now.
Yeah, the clan, your like family membership is based on who your mother is, but the children don't really belong to the father or belong to the mother. Like, the children belong to the community. So when you have a child in that kind of society, it's not like, you and the father live in like one residence and that's it. No, you live in the family residence, your mother's clan's family residence, and that child gets care and influence and teaching from their mother, from their grandma, from their aunts, from their uncles, from their cousins. Like, everyone in the community contributes to the development and care of the next generation.
Yes.
Does that make sense, Kay?
Totally does. Thank you for nailing that. I just want people to hear that a matriarchy would rear just a better society in general. Like, there wouldn't be all the people lonely. I think it would just take care of so many problems that people are suffering with. So thank you.
You're welcome. And there wouldn't be this unequal distribution of labor because like I said, the care of the next generation is shared among the community. So it's not one or two people that are saddled with all of the care, all the economic responsibility, all the money for that generation of children. But the productivity of that generation, everybody benefits from that, but they don't have to put any resources into it. Whereas in a matriarchy, everybody puts resources into the care and upbringing of the generation, and everybody benefits from the skills and contributions of those children when they grow up. So, Adam.
You're being weird again. No one's
Who's being weird
saying
again?
promote absent fathers. No one is saying kick fathers out. No one
No,
is
the
saying
fathers
that
are there. They're
at
just not
all.
centered. They're just not
Yeah.
centered because the children are centered. And the mothers are centered because the mothers birth the children. So children are centered. That is what I said. That's not what I said. I didn't say fathers are not there. I said that they are not the sole influences, neither is the mother of their children. That the mother determines the family clan membership, what clan you're in, but the care and feeding and upbringing of that child is shared by everybody. The father, the uncle, everybody. That's what I said. Okay, I'm sorry. Adam, you had thoughts. Did you have any thoughts, Adam? Hello, Adam. You're muted, sir. If you're trying to talk, you're muted.
Right.
Better?
Yeah, right.
Can you guys
A
hear
little bit
me?
of an echo. You have an echo. You have a little bit of an echo. You have an echo. A little
Sorry.
bit.
I tried to join last time. There's a big echo, but
Swipe
maybe
out of the app, go like out of the app to another window and then just come back. Sometimes that gets rid of the echo, or like put airplane mode on and then turn it off again. Sometimes that gets rid of it too. And if that doesn't work, then drop and come back. Patriarchy isn't father centered, it's male centered. There's a difference.
No, they don't.
They don't center Des, what is that? That's like so crazy. Yeah, there's no hierarchy in those kind of matriarchal society. There's no hierarchy. I mean, there might be like a council that has a mix of women and men on it. It might be majority women, but the decisions are made communally. They might be executed by a small group of people, but they're made communally.
It's a beautiful thing. My village is still around. That's still kind of the idea. Like everyone looks after the kids. They will tell the kids like if there's a bear around, or if their mom is calling them, anything that helps protect the children is something that is centered.
Did you say you were Ingot?
Tlingit.
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 Okay. So like Alaskan Native.
Yes.
I'm just Googling this because I want to know more.
The men trained. The men were warriors. They protected. They provided.
Means people of the tides.
Yes.
I'm noticing how, thank you, by the way, for Des for sharing that. And also, Teresa, thank you for explaining the point about matriarchy being what's best for the child. Because I think when it gets said, normally people automatically think to a direct opposite, and now women are the domineering, controlling force. And that's not what that means. And there's even someone, this nice fellow here in the chat that thinks when the men are not decentered, that means you're throwing them in the trash. And just that's the automatic thought is what the problem is. You know what I'm saying?
People with conservative values tend to have binary thinking. Yeah, they think binary like that.
That's what they do with women. That's what they do to us. Like,
right.
They're centered. We don't matter. Whatever they're saying is what they do to us. It's not that I'm not advocating if we were back in my village, my husband would matter. He would be chopping wood. He would be helping the community. He would, they trained a lot for, battles or hunting or whatever they needed to be ready for. everyone matters. And that's also what irritates me when they're like body count matters. You're devaluing a dude's member. You're saying he is disgusting. You are saying that he is below and he takes away from and all of this stuff.
That's what they think of
Men
themselves.
do
That's
Yeah.
what they think of themselves. It's confirmation bias. When they go seek out the Andrew Tates who tell them that they're less than zero, they're worth nothing. When you touch a woman, you devalue her. It responds to their confirmation bias. It's what they already think of themselves.
It's so sad.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
sad.
so I feel so bad whenever like guys do say stuff like that. It's like, how can you devalue yourself so much that you think having fun with a woman takes away from her?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, and
It's
people
sad.
just don't, when you try to explain these things, like what the question Kay was asking, people don't understand the definitions of words, and they can't conceptualize familial structures and cultures outside of the nuclear family, outside of like Western patriarchy, Christian culture. So when you start talking about things like matrilineal kinship, they don't understand what that means. They think it's like, oh, you unalived all the men. Like, no, it's just, it's not what it means.
Remember, manipulative people love the poorly educated.
Oh, they do. Yeah, they really do. Because they're easy to frighten, and frightened people are easy to control.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, like I'm the person who's at like Thanksgiving dinner when someone says some of the stuff that these dudes are saying in the chat, and I'm like, that's awful. Why would you do that? And then like silence, forks like dropped, and then everybody looks at me like I'm insane. It's like being the only sane person in the asylum. Like when I'm having these conversations with like extended family who are very like Christian and conservative, that's what it feels like. I'm like, guys, there's other ways to live. Come on.
Yeah.
You don't have to do this to yourself.
I haven't done a book walkthrough.
Walkthrough, yeah.
So I think I'm gonna do a book walkthrough. I might head out at the end of this, and just start getting busy doing a mood board for my October 2025 event. So anyway, lovelies, if you are new here, I am a life coach. I niche in dating and relationships. I wrote 11 books on dating and relationships to catch you wherever you are in your journey. What I like to say is I catch you where you are and I lift you up from there. So I'm going to read these out in order. Know that all of these are available on paperback on Amazon. And I also have 2 audiobooks. The 2 are No More Assholes and Fix That Shit. And I have several ebook bundle deals, and there's a free book in here. So Comeback Queen helps you heal faster from a breakup or divorce. We're going to speed up the healing process. No More Assholes is your selection process. So as you move forward, you want to make sure that you don't pick another mistake. So this is no more mistakes. You're going to use observation before selection. No More Assholes is also in Spanish. So what we're doing with this dating methodology is we are not buying the house off the internet of the photos alone. We're doing a walkthrough, home inspection, title search, making sure that what we commit to is the right choice. After the first kiss, when you start a new relationship, make it rock solid from day one by avoiding common mistakes and pitfalls. To enhance your communication and conflict resolution, you want to grab my Fix That Shit books. We have Fix That Shit for women and Fix That Shit for men. So this is how I got our relationship from 10 years of fighting to 9 years without a fight now. The Perfect Play is the dating book for men who want to heal from past relationships and make sure they make the right selection going forward for their next partner. Dating 101 is for the teens. Mom and dad, I did write this to be a textbook in high school. I encourage you to get this for your teens so that you can bring them up to date with what we are now learning when it comes to dating and relationships and understanding our body and the chemical reactions that are affecting our thought process when we are in selection mode. Fake love need not apply. How to avoid posers, losers, scammers, and predators. This is free in the link in my bio. So you may notice there's some losers in my comment section. They want you to get this free book so that you learn to identify posers, losers, scammers, and predators. because then it's so much easier to get rid of them because now you can see them because you know how to. Say yes to goodness, 10 steps for a complete and happy you. This is going to help you elevate your happiness in 10 areas of your life affecting you mentally and emotionally. Custom made is your career coaching. This is identifying, monetizing your purpose, passion, and talent. Glow Up Journal. This is a focused journey on elevating your self-worth, your self-confidence, overcoming self-doubt. We're going to do exercises that are scientifically proven to change your brain structure. When you change your brain structure, you change your world. So my motto is I make it easy. So whether it's healing your heart, choosing the right partner, increasing your self-worth, your self-esteem, I make it easy because I really bring you right to the exercises that are going to facilitate that change. I have 3 beautiful workbooks. Big, gorgeous, beautiful workbooks. Don't forget my 2 audiobooks are No More Assholes and Fix That Shit. These workbooks have bonus material. So Fix That Shit for Women workbook, the Fix That Shit for Men workbook, and the No More Assholes workbook. So lovelies, if you use the buttons in the link in my bio, free book button, paperbacks on Amazon, ebook bundle deals, audiobooks, you can get whatever it is that you need. And I do still have a Black Friday sale going on where you can get 50% off all my digital products. All the digitals. Pretty culture is pure delusion. Yes, it is pure delusion. Some dude with daddy issues wrote a book, called it the Bible, and then said, hey, I call this a religion. I'm a prophet. I call this a religion. Do what I tell you to do. Body count matters. Body count matters because I'm insecure and controlling.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you read a book, learn how to think logically, because you're just ranting and rambling at this point.
I'm going to go block and delete because people like that, they don't learn anything, do they?
Exactly. Ignorance culture. What the hell is that? That's not a thing. I don't think anthropologists have identified that culture yet.
Right? Ignorance culture. I love it. Okay. I'm going to head out, you guys. I'm going to go get some work done. I'm gonna wait for deliveries to come today. I wrap my
Bye. Everyone have a good weekend.
By the way, I'm looking for a good speaker that is really loud for my house that isn't expensive. I haven't figured out what that's gonna be yet. But if anybody has suggestions, I'm open.
Like a Wi-Fi, like Google Home type speaker?
Yeah, like
or Alexa. Or just like a regular Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah, like loud.
I know my Google Home speakers are really loud, but then again, I have 3 of them strategically placed in the house, so it's like I have surround sound. They're all like little, but they're just like I have a lot of them.
I also use my sound bar I have in my living room.
Okay. All right, 150 and it's loud. Jamie, what's Jamie? I got a Bose. Love mine. Bose. Okay, Bose what? A Bose what? What's your Bose called at 150? Was it on sale or was that full price at 150? I say Bose what? Because I know Bose soundbar. Yeah. Because I could see JBL, but they have like a bazillion speakers.
Yeah, they have a bunch of
I
different
have
models.
one in my bathroom. It's the best. It's great.
Okay, so Bose pill, $150. I will check that out. It's Black Friday, so maybe I can get some good specials on speakers today. All right, share one in the living room works amazing. Sasha, the soundbars. What you were Bose soundbar? All right. I'm gonna go check out some Bose today. Bose pill soundbars. Okay.
Awesome. Bye, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Have an amazing day. Happy Thanksgiving, all my Americanos. And I will see you soon. I'll see you soon. Dondra, Sasha, thank you. Yeah. Okay, Sasha, Jamie. All right. I'm going to check those out. Thank you, my lovelies. I appreciate you so much. Bye, my loves.